federal government and organized labor. According to the head of service of the Federation, D.D. Wilson Jack, the aim is to adjust the salaries of other categories of workers and maintain a fair and equitable salary structure, taking into consideration the consequential effect of the 70,000 naira minimum wage. Wale, let me start with you. The federal government inaugurating a 16-man committee on consequential adjustment. What are your expectations when it comes to negotiations and agreements on salaries? What are you expecting from this committee?
I think the committee is to do a thorough job based on reports from the different segments, Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, the informal and the formal sector, okay, and the labor, who are also, involved in this committee, sure, led by the SSG, FSG, Secretary to the Federal Government of the Federation. So I think is to harmonize the different positions and also to look at how this will impact on the employer and then on the workforce. So I believe it's a necessary step to be taken, and I hope at the end of the day they will agree on the model, the strategy of implementation. Okay. I also expect states, some states are already doing that, setting up their own committee to reflect on how the new minimum wage, will affect workers. Because money is just paper in the real sense of it. So it does not mean that when people are being paid 70,000 naira, then automatically they will be able to deal with all their economic challenges. The government still needs to do a lot of things, that to cushion the, effect of this minimum wage. That's what I expect labor to push forward, at this committee level. For instance, the issue of health insurance, is a major problem in Nigeria. In other countries, why people pay health insurance is that you collect money from the working force population, and then maybe that population only about 20% will have health problems in a year. Then you have access to deal with, the small percentage has some health problem compared with the majority of people that are paying for that health insurance. So that if anybody has any health problem, if you don't have enough money to take care of yourself, there is an insurance policy that can address your needs. And then social benefits, transportation, these are very key areas. And then food, security, so that people can have access to basic food items, access to education. If educational policies are not accessible to the masses, for instance, if you have a child in a university that feeds 2,000 naira in a day, in a month, that's 60,000 naira. In one semester, that's 180,000 naira. So, and you are on salary grade of 70,000 naira. So there are a lot of, things that the government needs to put in place to ensure that, yes, they are going to be paid 70,000 naira, but at the end of the day, there will be other safety bets, social benefits and all that will make sure that the body will not be too, much on the workers. So I think these are some of the things I expect the committee to look at, so that at the end of the day, the workers will not feel the pain too beyond the expectation. Okay,
BKO, in your opinion, the delay, why did it take so long for it to be constituted? Is it the federal government that is to blame, or labor, or both of them, or nobody should be blamed?
No, you can't blame labor for the inability of the federal government to constitute this committee in good time. They also have to sort out funding. This kind of money is not readily available. It has to be appropriated for, and through the National Assembly, maybe some form of environment or whatever. So I said long before now that minimum wage issues are not dispensed with in a hasty manner. President Tinubu, in the final analysis, has managed to do in under a year what the last administration took almost 4 years to do. Well, look at it this way. A new minimum wage was supposed to be due in 2016. President Buhari gave us a new minimum wage in 2019.
3 years after the
Yes,
expiration.
more than 3 years. More than 3 years. Because Goodluck Jonathan gave us a minimum wage in 2011. A new one was based on the law. A new one should be due in 5 years. So President Buhari couldn't give us a new one
In 2016.
in 2016 as stipulated by law. He pushed it right up to 2019. Now, the good thing is a new one, a new minimum wage has come into effect. It's backed by law. But as I always say, the devil is in the consequential adjustment. People think, oh, minimum wage, once that is sorted, that's the end. No. The greater volume of conversations would happen during the consequential adjustments.
Negotiation.
You have to negotiate.
Percentage.
Workers would threaten to go on strike, but it's a negotiation that you have to do. This is it. Minimum wage is supposed to affect level 1 to 7 maximum, depending on how much you are paying. In this case, the minimum wage of 70 million that the president agreed with 70,000 that the president agreed with Labour is 133% higher than the old minimum wage. And every time you come up with a minimum wage, it's like increasing salaries of workers across the board.
Across board.
Because everybody will get something on top of his salary. It's not the most poorly paid workers alone. The low ranked workers, as I said, 1 to 7, they will get the minimum wage. Now, if you do not do consequential adjustment to the salaries of their bosses, that is from level 8 to 17, they will eventually overtake their bosses. So that's why you have to then add. You have to add to their salary. That is what this committee is about.
So the percentage to which you add to their bosses is what?
It's based on negotiation. But the higher you go in the civil service, the less percentage you get, less percentage addition to your salary that you get. If you are a level 17 officer, for example, maybe you only get 2.5% more or 5%. It's all subject to negotiation. And when they look at the numbers, they will know that, okay, having doubled the current minimum wage, having more than doubled it, these guys will have overtaken this category of workers. Then what do we do? The people overtaken, you must add to them their own salary so that a cleaner doesn't begin to earn
more than the director,
more than maybe a deputy director.
The deputy director.
Just using that as illustration. So that is what they are going to do, and that is why when you come with a minimum wage, you get to spend a lot of money. You get to spend a lot of money. The cost of running the bureaucracy becomes bigger. Frankly, if you ask me, I doubt if we can continue maybe at some point they will amend the law to say, okay, states, we put minimum wage in your hands.
Okay,
but
pay
Labour
according to what you
yes, but Labour has been saying, no, we will not agree. You know, because in my view, what Zamfara can pay, I mean, what Lagos can pay, Ekiti or Zamfara may not be in position to pay. And as we go on with this negotiation on consequential adjustment, we are going to see what we are talking about. Some states, what some states will offer will never be like what the federal government. Exactly. This is just about the federal government.
We still have to.
The state. No, some states have
started the discussion.
As Wale said, some states have begun their discussion. They don't want it to become a riotous affair. So they started early. Okay, what do we do? Or what do we add? And then you look at what is available. Any governor can say, I can pay 70,000 minimum wage. But the consequential adjustment is what will really drive some of them mad. Because once it's done, the agreement is put to bed, and you look at what you have left, then they will start wondering, what have we brought on ourselves? You know? So that is the thing. And I can tell you, now with fuel prices going up, there will be far more hard-nosed negotiators within Labour.
VK, we're talking about the hike in price of petrol. Recently, the Nigerian Labour Congress, they said they feel betrayed, you know, about the hike in price of petrol and the negotiation back then. What are your thoughts on that? I need your opinion on that.
Hey, you know, when they were insisting that they wanted 250,000 per month, the president then said, well, we asked for 250, I will increase fuel price. So, according to them, the president twisted them by threatening to increase fuel petrol price if they remained on 250 per month. So they had to back down, and the president agreed to pay 70 million.
70,000.
70,000.
Are you prophesying 70 million right now?
I don't know why I keep using million. Maybe because I think the money is worthless at this time. You know? So that's why they are saying they feel betrayed, because part of the reasons why they agreed to
the
70,000 was because they were warned that if they remain stoic on the matter of 250, then it will. Okay. You know, when you go into this kind of negotiation, you get armed with all kinds of things. Sure. Blackmail, real facts, everything. You bring everything to the table. So I guess the president, based on what the Labour leader said, the president told them, look, if you don't back down 250, then I can pay 250, but I will increase fuel price. So they then
gave them an option.
Yeah, they said no. Now they've agreed to 70,000, and you've increased fuel price, which will wipe away whatever gain they felt they made, you know, by agreeing to 70,000 naira per month. So that's why they feel betrayed, because you can imagine if this increase in fuel price was done before those negotiations.
It would
certainly have affected the way the negotiations went.
All right. Well, you want to add to what PK has said?
Well, just to say that we hope the resolution will be symbiotic. It will be meaningful to both sides, so that we are not going to have another round of strike. And we hope that prices of food items will not continue to go up, so that the salaries they want to collect at least will be enough for them to earn a living, basic living standards.
Okay. If you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangouts. We go on this break, and when we're back, the conversation continues. It's still Journalist Hangouts.